Hello everyone, it is me Sasha Kawaii Cat, and in today's video, I will be drawing different versions of Poison Ivy. This is a series that I've been meaning to start for a while now, where I take a popular character and I draw different versions of them. There's just so many different versions of some of our favorite characters out there. Like Batman and Spider-Man have so many different versions now because they keep making Batman and Spider-Man movies. But I wanted to focus on characters that I find really interesting and cool and that I think I'd have a fun time drawing. It's gonna be a lot of cute girls for sure. But anyway, let's get started. First up, we have Pamela Isley from the Batman, which is a cartoon series that ran from 2004 to 2008. So Pamela Isley is a 15-year-old girl in this version. She loves plants, of course, and she hates people that hurt plants and the environment in general. In this version, she's best friends with Barbara Gordon, who is also a teenager. I don't know if she's always a teenager in the Batman series, but in this one, she's a teenager, so is Pamela. In the series, she's exposed to harmful plant growth chemicals, and she's turned into a metahuman, basically a mutant with like half plant, half human DNA. Throughout this series, a lot of her plans involve like mind controlling people to stop them from hurting plants or doing any harm to the environment. That's like her whole thing. She's an eco-terrorist, which has always been the thing with Pamela Isley. She's not really like an evil supervillain. She's just like, she just really cares about plants and she's very extreme about it. So for this design, I really like this version of Poison Ivy. I think this is probably my favorite version of her. And I remember seeing her and really liking her silhouette in particular. She has like, her hair is basically shaped like roses, and I thought that was such a really cool, interesting choice. I really like the art style overall in the Batman series. I don't know if it got a lot of love when it first came out. I don't think it did, because I think it came out sometime after Batman the Animated Series, which everyone liked, and you know, people are always like harsh when it comes to remakes or reboots. I don't know why. I mean, I know why. Sometimes they can be very bad and people just don't like them, but I actually really enjoyed this show growing up. It was one of my favorites, for sure, and it had my favorite version of Poison Ivy. I just really liked her appearance. I thought she looked really cool, and that's why I decided to draw her first. As it relates to the way she looks, as I mentioned, her hair is made out of roses, but her body is also, like, she's wearing a dress that is a part of her. It's basically her. Like, there's a scene in the series where she first gets her powers and she's basically like hatching out of this like cocoon type thing, and she pulls one of the leaves from her dress and it grows back because it's just a part of her body. And I thought it was cool. I just like this version of her. I like her design. But yeah, that's the first version of Poison Ivy. Please comment below and let me know what you think of this drawing. Moving on to our second drawing, this is Pamela Isley from Batman the Animated Series. And right off the jump, I'm gonna mention that I don't remember this series. And I know I've watched it. I kind of remember watching it, but not really. It's like very vague in my mind because I think I watched it when I was very young. Like, listen, this thing came out before I was born. And I feel like a lot of people loved it, which I understand why. I've seen enough of it as an adult, like I've seen clips here and there, to know that it's like pretty good. From what I've seen, it's pretty good. But I don't really remember it that well, and I don't really remember this version of Poison Ivy that well. But while I was looking for different versions of her, I was immediately drawn to her design. She's probably the most humanoid looking Poison Ivy I've seen. I mean, besides the live action version, I guess. But yeah, this version of Poison Ivy is, as I mentioned, from the Batman the Animated Series. She's a botanist and a secret eco-terrorist. She's not really obsessed with like money or power or anything like that. She just really loves plants. A very consistent theme with Poison Ivy. That's just her whole thing. She just really loves plants, doesn't like people hurting them. For this one, I just really like her appearance. I really like how she looks, and that was the main reason I chose to draw her. She has orange hair, and I really like her lipstick. I just like her appearance. That's fully the only reason I decided to draw this version of her, because I don't really know much about her. I was just looking at her like, you know what, she looks unique and she looks interesting. While I was looking for this version of her, another version of her did pop up that looked a little less humanoid. Like she had more gray skin, darker hair, and I liked that version as well, but there was just something very unique about this design. She almost looks kind of similar to the old school Disney princesses, if that makes sense. Like very similar to like Snow White. She has the aesthetic of an old school like Disney princess like Snow White, and I really like it. I like her design. So yeah, comment below, let me know what you think of this version of Poison Ivy. Are you guys familiar with Batman the Animated Series? I'm gonna take a wild guess and say that you guys are. Like I said, I feel like I watched it, but I don't remember that much from it. But yeah, I really like this version. Comment below and let me know what you think. Let's get into our third drawing. So this is Poison Ivy from the Harley Quinn show, which I really like. I haven't watched the recent seasons. I've missed a few seasons, but I remember I got to the point where she and Harley Quinn finally got together, and I really like that they went down that path with those two characters, because I just think that Harley Quinn is a cool character, and it really took me a while to realize that, because seeing her with Joker makes her she looks more pathetic when she's with Joker, and it's upsetting to me. It's very upsetting. So I'm glad she's with Harley. I'm glad that Harley is with Poison Ivy now. I like them as a couple, and it helped me realize that, you know, Harley was always a cool character. But enough about Harley. Let's get on to this version of Poison Ivy. So this version of Poison Ivy, as I mentioned, is from the Harley Quinn show, and they started off as friends, but then they became girlfriends. Apparently she got her powers due to a freak accident. At least that's what she tells people. She grew up with like rich parents, but they were like super abusive. Because of her abusive parents, she sort of gave up on humanity. So she doesn't really trust people that much, it seems. She had like trouble making friends as a kid, and of course in this version she's also an eco-terrorist. She's always an eco-terrorist. And also she had a romantic relationship with Catwoman in this version, which is interesting. I've never really thought of Catwoman and Poison Ivy as having like a romantic relationship. I've never even thought about Selena as like a queer character, but makes sense for her. Like that makes sense for Selena. But yeah, that relationship didn't work out. I haven't watched a recent season of Harley Quinn, so I don't know what's happening with Ivy and Harley, but I hope their relationship is still going strong. Like I don't want anything bad to happen to those two, and I want their relationship to last and work out. You know, I feel like I really like the show, so I feel like they're doing a good job with them. I'm gonna assume that things are going well. Please don't leave any spoilers in the comment section below. I don't really want to know. I'm gonna watch the new seasons and I don't want to be spoiled. But yeah, I really like this version of Poison Ivy. I like her design. she looks very cool. Her outfit is so casual and everyday though. I like the jacket, but then I don't really like the pants. But throughout the season, she gets like more cooler designs. They changed her outfits like every second, I think. So she gets like cooler outfits, so it's cool. I like her overall aesthetic though. I like this version of her. She seems more no nonsense, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know, she seems like more down to earth as well, but I don't know, at least that's my interpretation of her. I don't know how accurate that is, but that's how I envision her. That's how I see her. But yeah, comment below and let me know what you think of this version of Poison Ivy, and what do you think of this drawing that I did? Do you like it? Do you think it's cool? Comment below and let me know. Alright, so we're moving on to the last version of Poison Ivy that I drew, and this one is from DC Superpower Girls. So this version of Pamela Isley. So she's really lonely in this one. She's like a loner girl, loves meat. I remember that. I remember her chowing down on like meat and being offended by there's a character, I can't remember her name, in the series who's a vegetarian, who Poison Ivy just does not like her. This is another teenage version of Poison Ivy, because this show is geared towards a younger audience. They're all like kids in this one. So this one, of course, loves plants, is an eco-terrorist, rivals with Batgirl. Like, they really don't like each other, or at least as far as I remember, she doesn't like Batgirl, which is interesting. It's interesting that they put them together. I don't know if it's because they're like redheads. I don't know if I don't remember this being a thing in the comic books, but I could be wrong. Like, Batgirl and Poison Ivy being like a thing, like enemies or rivals. I remember her as being more of a Batman villain, but I don't know. I guess when she's a teenager, it makes sense to pair her up with another teenager, because Bruce Wayne is not a teenager in this series. He's just like a himbo. Just a young himbo. But yeah, I like this version of her. To be honest, I don't really watch DC Super. There has to be a better way to say this name. DC Superhero Girls. I don't really watch this series. I have my own personal reasons that I'm not going to get into, but it's probably a good show. Maybe not. I don't know. I think I watched like some of the first season and I was like, never mind. There's some choices here that I don't like. I do like this design of Poison Ivy. I like their interpretation of her. I like the bright red hair. The colors look very nice together. This is another version of her that is more plant-based, less humanoid skin color, more plants around her. I think she can manipulate plants in this version. I don't remember. Like I said, I don't really watch the show that much. I just chose this version because the design is pretty cool. I like the design of her. I like her hair. I like her little mini skirt. She kind of looks, she's wearing like a Tinkerbell dress. I like her gloves. I like the color palette overall. It just looks really appealing to me. So that's the only reason I chose to draw this version. I'm not even really that familiar with her, but I just like how she looked. I like her eyebrows as well. They look so evil. But yeah, I really like this drawing that I did. I think it turned out pretty cool. I tried to do a little bit of a more complicated pose, and I'm not sure if it turned out that well. I'm having trouble drawing fingers these days, and I'm trying to figure out like a way to draw them that looks okay. I think they look fine here. I don't know. Comment below and let me know what you think of this drawing. Do you like how it turned out? I like how it turned out. I like this version of her. I like what I did here. Comment below and let me know what you think. And let me know what you think of DC Superhero Girls. Like, are you guys watching it? Do you think it's a cool show? I don't know. Should I start watching it again? I probably won't. But anyway, those are all the drawings that I did. I hope you guys like how they turned out. What character would you like to see me draw next? What character do you want to see different versions of? There's so many different iterations of the various characters throughout our media because of remakes and reboots and just different shows existing. There's cartoons, there's movies, there's TV shows. What character do you want me to draw? Let me know in the comment section below. I just might draw it. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like my art and you'd like to show your support, you can become a Ko-fi member. The link to that is in the description below. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!